What if I told you that your daily $5 coffee habit could literally cost you $50,000 over your lifetime? Before you roll your eyes and click away, I'm not here to shame you into giving up your morning ritual. I'm here to show you something way more interesting: how the tiniest financial decisions we make every single day create massive ripple effects that most people never see coming. And here's the kicker: it's not just about coffee. We're talking about a psychological trap that's costing the average person enough money to buy a luxury car, and most of us are completely blind to it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your small spending decisions the same way again. Let's start with a story that'll make you question everything you think you know about money. Meet Sarah, a 25-year-old marketing coordinator who considers herself pretty financially savvy. She budgets, she saves, she even has a retirement account. But Sarah has this one tiny habit. Every morning on her way to work, she stops at her favorite coffee shop and drops $5 on a specialty latte. $5. That's less than what most people spend on a single lunch. It's pocket change, right? Sarah certainly thinks so. In fact, when her financially uptight friend Mark suggests she should make coffee at home, Sarah literally laughs. "Mark," she says, "it's $5. I spend more than that on parking meters. Get a life." But here's where this story gets absolutely wild, and why Sarah might want to reconsider her attitude. Let's do some math that'll blow your mind. Sarah spends $5, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. That's $1,250 annually just on coffee. Already more than most people spend on their monthly car payment, but we're just getting started. Over 10 years, that's $12,500. Over 20 years, $25,000. But wait, we haven't even talked about the real killer yet. See, Sarah isn't just spending that money, she's losing the opportunity to invest it. And this is where compound interest becomes either your best friend or your worst enemy. If Sarah had taken that same $1,250 every year and invested it in a basic index fund earning 7% annually, something magical happens. After 10 years, she wouldn't just have the $12,500 she spent on coffee, she'd have over $17,000. After 20 years, not $25,000, but over $51,000. After 30 years, we're talking about more than $118,000, all from redirecting a simple $5 daily habit. But here's what makes this story even crazier. Sarah isn't unique. She's actually representing millions of people who are making similar choices every single day without realizing the massive long-term cost. And coffee is just one example in an ocean of small financial decisions that add up to life-changing amounts of money. Think about subscription services you forgot you have. That $15 streaming service you signed up for during a free trial and never canceled? Over 20 years, with compound interest, that's costing you over $150,000. The premium gas you buy because you think it makes your car run better, even though your manual says regular is fine? The name brand groceries when the store brand is identical? The convenience store purchases when you could have planned ahead? Each decision feels insignificant in the moment, but collectively, they're quietly robbing you of financial freedom without you even noticing. Now, before you start panicking and decide to live like a monk eating ramen noodles in a cardboard box, let me be clear. I'm not suggesting you eliminate every small pleasure from your life. That's not realistic, and frankly, it's not healthy either. Life without any small indulgences would be pretty miserable. The real problem isn't the $5 coffee. The real problem is that most of us make these spending decisions unconsciously, without ever calculating their true cost or asking ourselves whether the pleasure we get is worth the long-term trade-off. Let me share another story that perfectly illustrates this point. My friend Jake is obsessed with having the latest smartphone. Not just any smartphone, he needs the newest model the moment it comes out, every single year. He justifies this by trading in his old phone and paying what feels like a reasonable monthly payment plan. But when we actually broke down the numbers, Jake was spending about $400 more per year than if he just kept his phone for 3 years, like most financial experts recommend. That extra $400, invested over 25 years, would grow to over $32,000. Jake is literally paying luxury car money for the privilege of having a phone that's 6 months newer than everyone else's. The fascinating part is that when I showed Jake these numbers, his first reaction wasn't to change his behavior. It was to rationalize it. He started talking about how his phone is important for his work, how technology advances so quickly, how he gets genuine enjoyment from having the latest features. And you know what? Some of those justifications might even be valid. But here's the key insight. Jake had never actually considered the real cost before. He was making a $32,000 decision based on a $400 emotional impulse. This is exactly what behavioral economists call the small number bias. Our brains are terrible at processing the long-term implications of small, repeated actions. $5 feels insignificant because it is insignificant in the moment. But $5 times thousands of moments over decades becomes enormously significant. It's like the difference between a single drop of water and a flood. One drop won't hurt anyone, but millions of drops in the same spot will eventually carve through solid rock. The good news is that once you understand this principle, you can flip it to work in your favor instead of against you. Instead of death by 1,000 small cuts to your wealth, you can build wealth through 1,000 small contributions. Let's go back to Sarah for a moment. Imagine she decides to make one simple change. Instead of buying coffee out, she invests in a nice coffee maker and some quality beans for her apartment. Her daily coffee cost drops from $5 to about 50 cents. She's still getting her caffeine fix, still enjoying her morning routine, but now she's redirecting $4.50 per day toward her future self. That $4.50 per day, invested consistently for 30 years, grows to over $106,000. Sarah basically bought herself a house down payment by making one small adjustment to her morning routine. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Once Sarah starts paying attention to these small decisions, she begins noticing them everywhere. The impulse purchases at the grocery store checkout, the premium cable package with channels she never watches, the gym membership she uses twice a month. She doesn't eliminate all of these expenses. That would be unrealistic and unnecessary. Instead, she becomes intentional about them. She keeps the ones that truly add value to her life and redirects the ones that don't toward building wealth. This isn't about becoming a penny-pinching miser who can't enjoy life. It's about becoming conscious of where your money goes and making sure your spending aligns with your actual values and long-term goals. Think about it this way. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of future you want. When you spend unconsciously on things that don't really matter to you, you're voting for a future where you have less financial freedom, fewer options, and more stress about money. But when you spend intentionally, keeping the purchases that genuinely improve your life while eliminating the ones that don't, you're voting for a future where you have more choices, less financial worry, and the freedom to pursue what really matters to you. The most successful people I know aren't necessarily the ones who earn the most money. They're the ones who are most intentional about where their money goes. They understand that wealth isn't built through massive windfalls or complex investment strategies. It's built through consistent, conscious choices compounded over time. Here's a simple exercise that can change everything for you. For the next week, write down every purchase you make under $20. Not to shame yourself, but just to create awareness. Most people are shocked when they see where their money actually goes. Then, for each purchase, ask yourself one simple question. Is the pleasure or value I get from this worth more than having an extra X dollars in 20 years? Sometimes the answer will be yes, and that's perfectly fine. Enjoy that coffee or movie or magazine guilt-free. But sometimes the answer will be no, and that awareness alone will start shifting your behavior. Remember, we're not trying to eliminate joy from your life. We're trying to eliminate unconscious financial leakage so you have more money available for the things that truly matter to you. The beautiful irony is that when you become more conscious about small purchases, you often discover you can afford bigger purchases that you previously thought were out of reach. That vacation you've been dreaming about, the course you want to take, the charity you want to support. Suddenly, these become possible when you redirect money from purchases you didn't even realize you were making. One final thought that might change how you think about all of this. Every financial decision is really a decision about time. When you spend money on something, you're not just trading money, you're trading the time it took you to earn that money. And when you invest money instead of spending it, you're buying yourself future time. Time when your money works for you instead of you working for your money. So the next time you're about to make a small purchase, don't just think about the price tag. Think about the true cost, including the opportunity cost of not investing that money. Think about whether the item or experience you're buying is worth the future financial freedom you're giving up. Most of the time, you'll probably decide the purchase is worth it, and that's totally fine. But sometimes, you'll realize you'd rather have the money working for your future self instead. And those moments of consciousness, repeated over time, can literally change your entire financial destiny. The $5 mistake isn't really about $5. It's about making financial decisions unconsciously instead of intentionally. Fix that, and you'll be amazed at how much your financial situation can improve without dramatically changing your lifestyle. Your future self will thank you for every conscious choice you make today. If this video opened your eyes to what's possible with your money, then don't stop here. Tap the video on your screen and I'll walk you through it step by step.